Hey everybody, Richard Chapman, Mike Myers here, your two favorite bald nerds. We are going to talk about browser extensions today. I've got some favorites that I use on a daily basis. Mike, I think you probably got some browser extensions you use as well too, yeah?
I do. I think what might make this interesting is let's do because your browser extensions are more enterprise security based in general, is my
Uh,
assumption.
one of them is. The two of them are actually not. One of them is definitely focused on being a cybersecurity analyst for sure.
Okay, so well, first of all, what's your browser?
So I most of the time I use Google Chrome. Sorry. I know, I
It
know.
actually Chrome's not. It's properly handled. It's not as bad as people make it out to be.
We've talked about Firefox in the past, and I've used Firefox. I have it on my machine, but and I do use it in my Kali Linux box as well too. But just I don't know. I ran into too many issues where websites wouldn't function properly and things like that. And it's been a while. I'll be honest. I probably should maybe switch to I don't know. We talked about Brave, the Brave browser, but the Brave browser shows up as a potentially unwanted program in a lot of enterprise environments.
Yeah, I mean, I think the days of having one browser are over. You just don't have that option anymore. But I do find myself I'm in an evolution. I mean, I probably have 7 browsers on the desktop machine I'm talking to you from, easily. Probably more than that. If you want to include things like Tor browsers and stuff like
Do you use one each day? Is it like Monday is Edge,
that.
Tuesday
Different
Tuesday's
things have different
Chrome, Wednesday?
needs. And so right now, I've been Firefox, which has been my go-to for over a decade. It's starting to show some challenges in security,
Hmm.
which is kind of compelling me to go to Brave. Most of what you're going to see is most of my extensions, other than just trying to save money extensions, is security. So, tools like Brave tend to put most of that in already. So anyway,
Okay.
so that's kind of where I'm thinking these days. So where shall we start?
How about I start with one of mine? Here,
You
I'll
have
I'll
something to
share.
show us, or is it just talking?
Yeah, no, I got something to show you. It's fine. And some of you are going to bash me, and I'm totally expecting that. That's okay if you do, but it's all right. Yes, yes,
Oh
yes.
God,
LastPass.
really?
Yes, I know. Listen, I'll tell you, I've had many different ways that I've done passwords, and we've talked about passwords in the past, and I've mentioned LastPass, and we all know that they've had a couple of issues here and there, and there's a few things that I've done after the fact that I think have made me a little more secure. But you cannot beat the flexibility of being able to gain access to your passwords on any device that you're on. It's really, really very flexible and helpful. I gotta say, it makes the days of remembering passwords a little bit easier. And I'm not saying you got to use LastPass. There's tons of other applications out there, but I do like this one. I think it works pretty well. So there's my first browser extension.
All right, so if we're going to be kind of going that direction, I'm not against password managers. Firefox certainly has a nice one built into it. I believe Brave does as well, although I haven't used it. Uh, I've just always been a little about giving away my passwords to Big Brother, and
Yep.
I do sort of use them. I'm not going to say I don't use them, but I tend to use the ones that are built into the browsers as opposed to a password manager. So I won't give you too much trouble. All right, so what am I going to show you? Oh goodness. All right, since you were teasing me about it earlier, I'm going to show it to you. Hang on. Sharing the screen, sharing the screen. How do I share the screen? I think this is the right one. Can you see that?
Capital One.
I
Yes.
do. Richard, I know it's not a security app. In fact, it's probably anti-security to some extent, but made some amazing deals on it. It saves me a couple of $100 a month. Now I do a lot of online shopping because I have to, but I have found it to be absolutely amazing. So That's the one I'm going to go with.
No, I like it actually. To be perfectly honest, I have used that as well. So you're amongst good company, I think, or you're amongst bad company. That I think that kind of goes both ways. So good company and bad company kind of run together, right? I've used it as well too. So I think it's a good app. Yeah. All right, my turn. My turn. My turn. My turn. The first one is if you are looking for a job, and I don't care in what field. Okay, I do love this app, and I highly recommend this app to individuals who are applying for jobs. And again, keep in mind we work with a lot of analysts who come out of our program who are looking for cybersecurity roles, and they want to find the right job applications to be able to submit, the right job post to submit on. Well, one of the great ways to be able to make sure that your resume matches up to the job description is Jobalytics. I cannot speak highly enough about this application. If you go and pull up a job description from a post, and it doesn't matter in what job board, LinkedIn, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, you name it, you can run your resume against it, and it'll give you a percentage match compared to the job description. So if your resume is like a 10% match to the job description, well, either that's a completely wrong job description for you, or your resume is severely lacking in the proper verbiage and terminology that you need to be able to apply for that job. And it's a really, really simple tool to use. Simple browser extension here at the top. And you can see I've already got my resume loaded in here for an example. And I could go to LinkedIn and pull up a job post and say, analyze it, and it'll tell me what words matched, and it'll tell me what words didn't match. So great tool, simple, easy browser extension. And if you are currently looking for any job in the market, I would absolutely recommend you to use that browser extension. It's a great extension.
Well, now that's going to, all right. So I got to think about this as like the next one. So what I'm going to actually do, if you don't mind, is I'm going to show you 3 more.
Okay.
4 more.
Okay.
Yes, 4 more, and then we're going to call it good on my end. So let me
I
line it up on.
I only have one more. I mean, I can share others, but I only have one more, Mike.
Well, that's because you're not as cool as I am, man.
That's very true.
All right. So number 1, cookie auto delete. I'm always playing with security tools just to see what they do. And cookie auto delete is a very interesting. I don't know if it's such a functional tool because auto deleting cookies can be a real pain.
Right.
But it can become absolutely fascinating in terms of understanding how websites use cookies. So many websites where it's like, oh, you get to view 3 articles and then you're off. That's tends where I would use stuff like cookie auto delete. So I didn't want to get into a big speech on VPNs, but I am currently in love with ExpressVPN for a paid VPN. I love it. And it ties in nicely with extensions into Firefox and other browsers as well.
Okay.
This is a big one. As you know, Richard, I'm anti-Facebook, but sometimes you just have to Facebook. And for me, I always run a Facebook container, which forces both Facebook and Facebook messaging to work with their own containers. And it really, if you like using Facebook as an authentication tool for other websites, then this would be a problem. But for everybody else, it's absolutely great. It gets Big Brother Facebook out of your other browser windows. And the last one is Privacy Badger. And Privacy Badger does nothing more than tracks invisible trackers. That's all it does. I'm sorry, it blocks invisible trackers. So there are other tools like Pi-hole and stuff like that that can help with this on the DNS side. But Privacy Badger, which has been around for a while, is still a pretty popular tool. So
very cool.
Those are going to be the one. So I'm going to throw in one more and then I'm going to stop. And that is most of those extensions go away with a Brave browser because it's just got all this stuff kind of built in. The only downside I'm going to tell anybody, whether you use a Brave browser or Firefox with extensions or what's that thing you use? Chrome? I'm kidding. be prepared to tweak extensions. If you think you're going to be able to just install it, it's going to magically do whatever you want it to do. That's a mistake. All of these extensions, especially where you're talking about blocking stuff, filtering stuff, anytime you hear those words, be ready to start taking a software screwdriver of configurations to your things, and understand that that's normal. If you find yourself getting frustrated because you slap in a VPN and it doesn't work, then that may not be a good idea for you, because this is what we do, guys. It's normal for us to tweak these things.
Yep.
That's all I got on my end, Richard. You have any more to share?
Yeah, I got one more. I gotta say though, I like that software screwdriver. That's a nice way to put it. Software screwdriver.
Hey man, we work for the same company. It's under our patents. You can use that all you want.
Nice. All right. The last one. Now, obviously, you guys know cybersecurity professional. It's what I do. And to find a nice tool that you can use as an analyst is really cool. This one was actually introduced to me some time ago by actually one of our analysts in the program. So just shows how on top of things they are as well too. It's called Sputnik. So it's got a great name. I love the name. It's awesome, right? If you're a sci-fi space guy, stuff like that, Sputnik's a cool name. I like it. But it's a really, really handy tool to be able to use some of those open source intelligence tools that we talked about in another episode to be able to quickly improve the speed of your workflow. Let me give you kind of an example here. If I'm investigating, say, a proof point alert, and I've got an IP address here, well, I can highlight the IP address and right click on it, and it takes me right to my Sputnik as an option. And then I can check the reputation of that IP right there by just very quickly doing it. I don't have to copy and paste it into the tool and drop it in. And real quick, I can see that this IP address doesn't show up as malicious. It looks like it's a data center and hosting IP address associated with this domain here. So not showing up as malicious, probably not something to be too terribly concerned about. But the cool thing is I can go back over here and I can drop it into one of the other tools that I mentioned in that previous episode as well, VirusTotal. And look, now I've got 2 different open source intelligence tools that told me that this is good. So again, if I want to take this IP address, I can pop right back into Sputnik and go to many other IP related open source intelligence tools. But if I had a hash, I could check a hash, I could check the domain, or even check the URL. So there's a lot of different features and functionality, which is real quick to be able to get to your favorite open source intelligence tools. So I love Sputnik. I think it's an awesome browser extension. So if you can add it into your browser and use it, I think it's a good idea. So that's all I got.
I am literally looking up Sputnik. You always come up with one I don't know about, dude. So years ago, I was, so we have a Firefox add-on, Sputnik. Years ago, I'm hanging out with some friends of mine who were Russian. And so I'm trying to talk about space stuff because I love space stuff. And I'm sitting there, yeah, well, of course, you guys got up there first with Sputnik. And she's like, what? I go, Sputnik, the satellite. She's like, I don't understand what you're saying. I'm like, Sputnik, beep, beep, beep. She's like, she goes, you're pronouncing it so poorly that we don't even know what you're talking about. She goes, it's Sputnik, Sputnik, Sputnik. They couldn't even. Yeah.
So now, if I say it the right way, if I say Sputnik, everybody's not going to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, some of us have to sacrifice acceptance for accuracy, man. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, cool, man. Those are some fun ones. Folks, we're going to put some links out there for, well, actually, let's not put links because they're going to pull these links directly out of their browsers, right? So
yeah, exactly.
That would be silliness. And if you have any questions, put them down in there. We're always interested. Check out some links. Check out Cyber Labs. We have an absolutely amazing program, and maybe we'll see you next time we're getting together in a cohort. Talk to you then. If you like Two Bold Nerds, check out our entire playlist right here. It's a lot of fun. We'll see you there.